today's video, we're gonna react to some real life real estate agent social media posts, specifically Facebook posts. So let's jump straight into it. And just for some context, the lens from which we're going to be reviewing this profile right here is going to be based on actual real estate client generation. So we're not going to be focusing so much on, let's say, likes, shares, what it looks like, brand slogans, anything like that. But how can we optimize this Facebook profile to allow this person, this team actually to generate more real estate buyers, real estate sellers? So we've been fortunate enough to having worked with over 600 realtors one-on-one intimately all across the United States. So having said that, let's hop in and review this from that lens. Now, the first thing right here that we see is going to be the cover picture, and we have the whole team right over here. We have the brokerage owner right here in the middle. So I really like this cover picture a lot. It demonstrates, number one, social proof, and number two, it demonstrates authority, right? So we have all these realtors, so this kind of person must be successful. That's really good. I like this a lot. It's also high definition, so the profile pic or a cover picture actually is in good quality. Now, over here, when we go to the name itself, we can see that it's a pretty lengthy name. So we have Pat Setter, Real Estate Berkshire Hathaway, Home Services, Fox, and Roach Realtors. It's a very lengthy name. So what I would do instead is to make this a little bit shorter. You don't need to have this be this long, just because if it's super long, it can be a little overwhelming for a lot of people, and essentially they just don't read the whole thing. So make this a little bit shorter, more straight to the point, and then the Berkshire Hathaway, or those other things, you can mention them later down below over here. Now, having said that, let's go ahead to the profile picture. So the profile picture that we see right here is essentially the same image, but we have a lot of different graphics right here. So instead, what I will pay attention to is an example. Let's say you run some advertisements, or let's say people see your post. You can see right over here that this is the picture that people see. And right now, when we see this image, right, you can see it's like little text, and all our eyes can pay attention to is just the graphics themselves, right? So people don't get a good idea about who or what this is, what this space is about. So instead, what I would do is I would just have the broker owner right here and have their headshot as the image right here. So this way, it kind of comes off as more like a personal page, and people can actually get an idea about what this page is or who this person right here is. Now let's go ahead and check out the headline. So we have the introduction section. It currently says team mission, committed to excellence to exceed expectations in real estate service and live-up. So we have a small typo over here. Now, what I would do here with the introduction section, the goal of this is that it's a little bit like a headline on a website. So when you have a headline on a website, that's kind of like the first thing that people read. And then if the first thing that people read, it catches their attention and they really want to feel like this will be irrelevant to them, right? They continue reading down the rest of the page. Look at the content, look at the website, etc. Now, currently, obviously, I would first fix the typo itself. But when you look at this headline, when you look at this introduction, it currently actually doesn't even mention the local area this real estate team is in. And then also it talks about them. It talks about the team, right? It says committed to excellence to exceed your expectations, real estate service, and leave that, right? Whatever deliver, probably excellent service or something like that was the goal behind it. So really it doesn't though like explain the actual benefit to the person, and it also doesn't explain credibility, like why this person or why this team should work with you specifically, right? So it changes to something like helped over 200 people or helped over 500 people, helped plus 500 people to move from one home to the next in XYZ New Jersey area, right? Let's say you are in Manapleland County, right? So when you add that in, now there's two things that happen, right? You add the social proof. So obviously with a team like this, it's a good idea to use all the social proof you can, since you do probably have it. Now, second thing that's going to happen is that they see exact area you guys work with, right? So they also see, okay, they're in my area, so this is relevant to me. And we also see a clear benefit move from one home to the next, because we got to remember at the end of the day, the homeowners, right, they may not understand what a real estate agent is or how it's relevant to them or how it's actually going to practically help them. So this way, when you position the page in a way that clearly and easily explains the benefit, that gets people to click the light bulb, right, and now they get what this page is about. Now, let's go ahead and move down. So over here, we have some information. We have the phone number, we have the email, here we have the website. When we go to the website, it says the Pat Setter team, making you happy, make us happy, better with Setter, right? So the same thing that I would change over here is this headline is about you. So it changes to be the headline about the local homeowner in New Jersey. So I like the visual page of this, the visual look of this page. We have a good video over here. It looks professional. It looks clean. I like that it's pretty smooth, but then the headline itself, it should be cleanly, this is what we do, this is how it's going to help you towards your goals. Because with the headline itself, it's a little bit like the hook of a social media post, a couple first words. People have to get the attention over here. Otherwise, right, we're going to lose them and they won't read the rest of the page. So I would add in a big picture about you guys or the broker right here, right? And then over here, change the headline. And then over here, have a call to action directly to book in a phone call to speak with you. Because right now we can see that there's actually no call to action right over here. So really, I mean, the only way I could reach out to you guys would be now from contact us or the phone number right here, which again is tiny font at the top of the screen. I would pick up my phone, call you, right? So rather have what we've seen work the best on these websites is just have a call to action to your calendar. And then this way people can just click it, book an appointment, and then have an actual valuable conversation with you. Let's see the rest of the page. Here we have the team image. This is good. Meet the team. I'm going to go to contact us. Yeah, I would change the form, right? Instead of the form, I would just have the calendar page, calendar link. We have here featured properties, our testimonials. So these are text testimonials, but we can see here in the testimonials section, we don't have any sort of picture about the client. And so if you don't have a picture or you don't have a video, a lot of times it's hard to people kind of trust the actual testimonial, right? Because we just have a random person just type in this information. So I'll definitely leverage those testimonials. Probably you'll have like Zillow testimonials or pictures of the clients. You guys probably have videos with the clients, video testimonials. So definitely add these in to make these more powerful. And what we can do for a property, we can make your house feel new. Oh, this section I like a lot because this really explains, yeah, the virtual staging. I like this. This is a very good, very nice. Work with us. Nice. Yeah, it looks clean. This is a good page. Couple different things I would do here. The other thing I would do, let's say we go to properties, past transactions. You have the sold property. Nice. Yeah, this is good. One more thing I would do over here is I would add in the actual case studies. So you guys have these properties that you have sold, right? So I add in the steps so you guys actually help the client through, right? So the first thing we did was this, second thing we did was this, and this is how the transaction went. Maybe we sold above the asking price, whatever the case may be. So I'd add in those case studies right over here in addition to featuring the properties. But yeah, this is really good, really clean, really solid. So the website itself is good. The only thing I would change here, yeah, is the first section, the headline, and then the call to action so that people can easily book in that call to speak with you. Now, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the Facebook page. So over here, we have featured section, and then I'm excited to support Onward, premier destination for female adventurers. We have here excited to sponsor annual festival. And then here we have the story. Okay, I like this post a lot. Now, what I would do differently here is I would remove all of these things because these things really have, like we can see here when I go to the page, these are the first two featured posts that I see, right? So at the end of the day, if I'm a homeowner in your local area, these things are kind of gonna maybe increase my likability a little bit, I guess, about your team. But at the end of the day, they're not that relevant to me as a homeowner, right? Trying to sell my house or buy a house in your local area. So I'll replace these posts and then have maybe a post like this, or maybe even case studies of the properties you sold, because we know that you guys have a lot of properties that you have sold over here. Now, increasing credibility, increasing the authority, right? Add in those properties, and this is what we did with those properties. So that would help a lot here as far as, again, that relevancy, again, that situation where I go to this page, right? Getting a quick idea, okay, how's this relevant? How this page can help me out. Now, let's go ahead and check out some more content that we have posted over here. So here we have a shared post. Generally on Facebook business pages or in Facebook on general, sharing basically doesn't do anything. Usually when you share a post, basically always gets 0 views, 0 likes, 0 comments. So I would especially not do that on a business page because again, even though we have here a shared post about the foundation. Again, this could be, I guess, like kind of like increasing likability, but at the end of the day, we can see that this post doesn't really do anything. So sharing it doesn't help. Maybe if you want to do like a likability based post, a better idea here would be maybe to actually go to that event, take a picture from that event, and maybe with a local person, maybe it's the president of that foundation, whatever the case may be, right? And then telling a little story about that. Hey, I met this person, and then this is how I learned about this and this thing, and this is what we did to actually help them out. If you want to do a post like that, that would be a better idea instead of sharing. So generally, the framework on Facebook is that any content that is not native to the platform, right? We can kind of see that this post, as an example, has a bunch of text over here, etc. So this is not really a native content to a Facebook, right? You wouldn't really go on Facebook and see this as a native post. It's not something that you'd be looking for. So anything that is not native, it's usually not going to perform well. And anything that is native, it's usually going to perform very well. So that's what we kind of see with our clients. So here we can see another post. We have Keeping Current Matters. This is an automated content tool that is posted this post here. So we have how VA loan can help you buy a home. And then here what we have is a link to Keeping Current Matters. So when you have a link, and the second thing was that this is not a native post, right? Obviously by default, obviously that's going to usually always result into nothing, basically no likes, no comments, no reach, no shares, right? So that's why this post as well, I would replace this with native content as opposed to an automated content. So rather, better idea here would be have a post of you and a veteran or a person in the military, right? Have them, you probably have tons of those types of people, right? Have them take a picture with you, right, and tell a story about how you actually helped that veteran. And I can tell you that's probably going to do a million times better than a post like this. Now let's go ahead here. Here we have a share, kind of how we just discussed. Shares doesn't do anything. It doesn't really bring forward any results. Here we have a graphic. So the second thing that we kind of see a lot on Facebook are these like graphic styles images where it's done by Canva or some tool, right? It has like a bunch of text there, etc. So again, that is not a native post on Facebook. So this is not something that you would usually see from your friend or family over on Facebook, and that's why it's not performing very well. So again, you can basically turn off Keeping Current Matters in any automated tool or a graphic design post like this. They don't do anything over on Facebook. Same thing here, we have a graphic post, so you can pretty much just end this and this. Okay, and over here we have a great result post. We have a house that sold over $100,000 over the asking price. And then over here, we can see that immediately when we have a good post like this, we do have some engagement. There's 12 engagements and then 12 comments. Now, with a result like this, typically you should see around 200, 300, 400 engagements, right? This is an amazing result, $100,000 more for the client. So let's see how could have we done better with this post and actually gotten more juices out of this awesome client result. Well, first of all, we see that there's a lot of graphics going on in this picture, right? We have the a lot of things going on here, picture here, number here, you have the price here, house here, sold, all these different details going on right over here, right? So again, as we discussed earlier, when we create the post, we want to make them feel native to the platform itself. So instead, what I actually rather use is I would go in front of this property, take a picture on your phone with you in front of this property, or if possible, even better, actually with the clients themselves. We're probably pretty happy $100,000 or the asking price. So sometimes they may allow that as well. Now we have that. So first of all, the visual. Now let's take a look at the text itself. So it says pass header. You have representing County's finest inventory. Thrilled to be my dream seller. No matter how you look stay, also especially be part of a big change in my client's life. So with the text itself, it's good. But at the same time, we could have gotten a lot more juices out of this post, right? So first thing I would have done here differently is I would actually tell a story. So I would actually tell a story about, hey, we met these homeowners. They were living in the local area for 5 or 10 years, for however long they lived. And then we have that conversation with them where they mentioned that they were moving out of state to this and this area due to X, Y, and Z reasons. And then from there, we started selling the house, and these are the steps we actually did. So first we did this, then we optimized the curb appeal, then we did this and this, that step. And then we had the negotiations, and then we had this person come in, they were offering this price. But then what I did is I used this and this thing And this is how we got over $100,000 over the asking price. And so right now, if you're wondering if it makes sense to hire a real estate agent, well, now you see how big of an impact these steps that we just covered over here can have on the actual selling price. So that's how we got the homeowners over $100,000 more than what we initially asked for. So now this way, when you tell actual story, people can envision themselves to be a part of that journey, and they can also envision you working with them to create the same situation for their homes. And you can also share that exact value, right? Exact things you guys did, so that this way they can actually understand the full process from A to Z. So you can have that more certainty around your specific process specifically. Now, this way, with having done this post a little bit differently, this would have gotten, because the result itself is amazing, right? So they've gotten 200, 300, 400 engagements. We've seen a lot of times happening with our own clients. Now, let's go ahead and check out some of these other posts. Same thing here that we just covered earlier. This is a share. So kind of how we covered earlier, shares really won't do anything. And here we have more along the lines of what we want to be doing. So this is a native post. I like this post a lot. Here, same thing. We have a client result happening over here. Now, what I would do differently is that there's a lot of images in this post, right? But these images, they're actually very similar. So we can look at this picture, it's pretty much the same. These images are pretty much the same. So we could actually just have one picture or maybe maximum 2 images here from this situation. And then instead of telling a story like this, I would add in a little bit of white space between it, because we can see it's a very long, big blank of text right now. And for a lot of people, when they scroll through Facebook, right, they just kind of scroll over this. When we like read it, so to increase the consumption of this post, you want to add in some white spaces. So we want to say like finally happened, blank space, and then another sentence, blank space, blank space, blank space. So between each sentence, have some space. So this way it's easier for people to consume it. Now, the second thing I would do is really tell this in a story-based format. So now we can see it finally happened. Case head on new home. Just want to be on start nesting, patience, etc., etc. So this is all pretty good, very close to what you want to be doing to make a successful viral post. The only thing I would do here is I would actually start, so with the stories themselves, when you tell a story, you want to start with the beginning, go to middle, and then you want to go to the end. So we can see here, it finally happened, right? This is like the ending of the story. So imagine watching a movie, you're watching Star Wars, or you're watching a Netflix TV series, right? And it starts from the end. Well, now you already know the end, right? So there's no point in watching the rest of the series. So instead, start from the beginning, right? So K&K, they reached out to us. They were looking for a new home to start nesting. And then when they reached out to us, they had this problem, like they couldn't find a home here in the New Jersey that was like in alignment with their needs. They needed a big bedroom, they needed a house, they needed a room for a kid. They also needed to have their own yard, but they just couldn't find anything with the price range they were looking for. So when they reached out to us, we started to look at houses. Now we explain this process. Now we're in the middle of the section of the story, right? We started to look at the houses. We visited 5 houses. I custom picked the houses exactly for them. Then we had the negotiations, and we had the negotiations. I did these and these steps to get the best possible price. And then now they finally bought the house, and then now finally they have a house where they can live in. It's a great house. They have these and these features, and they're happy, right? And then have a picture here. So with the storytelling, you want to have a beginning, middle, and an end. And then from here, just make the pictures a little bit simpler. But if you tell it in a story format, right, then add in some white spaces in between. I believe same thing with this post. It's an amazing story. You guys already have the pictures, right? So instead of getting 15 engagements, this could easily gotten 200, 300, 400 engagements from this post. So yeah, really good idea. But again, the execution itself, I do slightly differently, but this definitely had the potential to absolutely crush it for you. Great stuff with that transaction. Okay, so hopefully this video was useful. Now, do you have a Facebook page and content you want us to review? Well, just add in your Facebook page down below, and maybe we'll check it out in the next video.